I was aghast. I had it withdrawn.
Really, you were aghast?
I was.
Oh, really?
Yes,
and what
sir.
have you done about it? Did you fire the people who wrote it?
No, I had it withdrawn.
Have you fired anybody involved in it?
Senator, if you would give me a chance to answer
That's a
your
yes
question.
or a no. It's not hard. Have you fired anyone involved in the writing of that outrageous memo, about which, frankly, you've repeatedly misled the public? Yes or no?
The individuals involved in that
Have you
product
fired
were
anyone?
not, just a minute, were not found to have engaged in any intentional or bad faith conduct. And in fact, Senator, a number of the individuals involved in writing that product in the Richmond office were themselves Catholic. So the notion
Oh, I see.
that
So
they were
therefore
targeting their own faith
so they
is
have a
nonsense.
get out of jail free card. I see. I
They-
see. So
I
you're
did
immune
not
and
say
they're
that.
immune. So we shouldn't ask questions about it. You haven't done a darn thing. You haven't fired anybody. In fact, what the House found is, what is it? You admonished them. They were admonished. And their respective supervisors were told to engage with the Human Resources Division to ensure that deficiencies are addressed. Oh, well, I feel much better. They've been sent to bed without food. Good heavens, Director. This is one of the most outrageous targetings. You have mobilized your division, the most powerful law enforcement division in the world, against traditionalist Catholics, whatever the heck that means. And you're just told us you have not fired a single person.
All right, before we even get into this, I need you to really think about what you just watched. Because what Josh Hawley is raising here isn't some small technical issue. It's a serious question about power, accountability, and constitutional rights. We're talking about allegations that a federal law enforcement agency may have crossed a line, specifically when it comes to religious freedom. And instead of vague statements or political speeches, Hawley is doing something very direct. He's pressing for clear answers. What stood out to me immediately is how he didn't let the conversation drift. Every time there was an attempt to generalize or deflect, he brought it right back to specifics. Did this happen? Who was approached? Why weren't we told? That's oversight. Now, whether you agree with him politically or not, there's a principle here that should matter to everyone. No government agency should operate without scrutiny, especially when constitutional rights are involved. And the moment whistleblowers are the only way information gets out, that's when people start asking serious questions, and rightly so. So in this video, we're going to break down exactly what happened, what was said, and why this exchange is getting so much attention. If you want more content like this, real breakdowns, not just surface-level takes, go ahead and hit that like button, subscribe, and let me know in the comments. Do you think this line of questioning was justified? Or do you think it went too far? Let's get into it.
So your question conflates two different things. There's the intelligence product itself, which the Richmond field office created. It was written by, as our inspection found, by analysts in Richmond, reviewed by people in Richmond, and captioned Richmond field office product. Separately from that, there was an investigation of a specific individual who was amassing Molotov cocktails and posting about killing people, and it does not surprise me that there were people who knew that subject in that investigation, that is the guy building the Molotov cocktails and trying to kill people, that people talked to the witnesses who knew that person, and I think the product, the Richmond intelligence product, which cites that investigation, is actually pretty transparent about exactly what I just said.
No, I don't think so at all. In fact, the only reason we know this is a whistleblower has come forward and told the House under oath that the FBI went and interviewed priests and choir directors in the Richmond area. The House goes on to say that the FBI has repeatedly refused to disclose this information. The only reason we know it is because a whistleblower came forward with it. Just like the only reason we know about this memo is because a whistleblower came forward with it. How many other parishes around the country have priests or choir directors been approached? By the way, are Catholic choirs now, are they breeding grounds for domestic terrorism? Is this your latest theory? How many other parishes have FBI agents approached priests and choir directors to ask about parishioners?
Look, Senator, we do not and will not conduct investigations based on anybody's exercise of their constitutionally
You
protected
have done
religion.
so, and your memo explicitly asks for it. Your memo labels traditional Catholics as racially and ethnically motivated violent extremists in need of investigation. You have a list of churches, a list in the memo. You've repeatedly said we don't target churches, we don't list churches. They're listed in the memo. So how many other parishes have you gone to talk to choir directors, for heaven's sake?
As I've
Know the answer to that question.
No, I don't know the answer to that question, but I can tell you that we don't investigate people for their exercise of their constitutionally protected religious expression.
I
That
just can't-
particular intelligence product is something that as soon as I saw it, I was aghast. I had it withdrawn.
Really, you were aghast.
I was.
Oh, really? And
Yes,
what
sir.
have you done about it? Did you fire the people who wrote it?
No, I had it withdrawn.
Have you fired anybody involved in it?
Senator, if you would give me a chance to answer
That's a
your
yes or a
question.
no. It's not hard. Have you fired anyone involved in the writing of that outrageous memo, about which, frankly, you've repeatedly misled the public? Yes or no?
The individuals involved
Have
in that
you
product
fired
were not, just a minute, were not found to have engaged in any intentional or bad faith conduct. And in fact,
Really?
Senator, a number of the individuals
answer's no.
involved in writing that product in the Richmond office were themselves Catholic. So the notion
Oh, I see.
that
So
they were
therefore
targeting their own faith
so they
is
have a
nonsense.
get out of jail free card. I see. I
They-
see. So
I
you're
did
immune
not
and
say
they're
that.
immune. So we shouldn't ask questions about it. You haven't done a darn thing. You haven't fired anybody. In fact, what the House found is, what is it? You admonished them. They were admonished. And their respective supervisors were told to engage with the Human Resources Division to ensure that deficiencies are addressed. Oh, well, I feel much better. They've been sent to bed without food. Good heavens, Director. This is one of the most outrageous targetings. You have mobilized your division, the most powerful law enforcement division in the world, against traditionalist Catholics, whatever the heck that means. And you're just told us you have not fired a single person. I mean, here, it gets worse. Your Richmond field office, they thought there was nothing wrong with this. The House interviewed the head of the Richmond field office. He testified. It's all here in the public report. I refer you to it, pages 12, 13, 14. He testified he saw no problem with this. He said he thought it was fine. In fact, we have internal memoranda of the members of the field office high-fiving. One peer reviewer, another member of the field office wrote, "I think this is a great product. I really enjoyed the read." Do you have a problem with systemic bigotry against Catholics in the FBI?
No.
What are you going to do about this? Are you going to fire these people or not?
Those individuals have all been admonished, and it is all going into their,
Admonished.
if you would let me finish my answer, it is all going into their annual performance reviews, which has direct impact on their compensation, among other things.
Oh, I see. Oh, I see. I see. So the 60 million American Catholics who now learn that your FBI has recommended that priests be recruited as informants, your FBI has gone to priests, choir directors, but we're to feel better because you've admonished them for their wrongdoing.
You again are conflating two different
No, I'm
things.
not.
When
I am
we
taking your testimony where you said you do not. You said categorically, you said we do not go to priests and ask them about their parishioners. You said we do not. You didn't say we haven't. You didn't say we won't. You said we don't. It turns out you do, and you kept it from the public. You deliberately misled Congress about it, and the only reason we know about it is because a whistleblower came forward.
I just
That's the truth.
fundamentally disagree with your
Well,
characterization.
there's no characterization. The facts are the facts. And I fundamentally resent the fact that you have violated, if not the spirit, if not the letter, certainly the spirit of the First Amendment, and used your law enforcement agency against Catholics in this nation. Let me ask you about one.
All right, now that we've watched the full exchange, let's unpack this, because there's a lot going on beneath the surface. First, let's talk about approach. Josh Hawley came in with a very clear objective: establish whether there was a contradiction between previous testimony and newly revealed facts. And from the very beginning, you can see he's not interested in broad explanations. He's focused on specifics. That matters. Because when you're dealing with something as serious as potential surveillance or monitoring tied to religious institutions, precision isn't optional, it's necessary. Now, one of the central issues here is the Richmond memo. Hawley's argument is straightforward. The memo suggests a level of concern or targeting toward a specific religious group. And then you have previous testimony from Christopher Wray saying that the FBI does not recruit sources within religious organizations. So naturally, the key question becomes, which version is accurate? And this is where Hawley really presses. He brings up the whistleblower because that changes the dynamic entirely. If information only surfaces through whistleblowers, it raises concerns about transparency. Not necessarily guilt, but definitely transparency. Now, to be fair, Ray's defense is also clear. He says there are two separate issues being conflated, an intelligence product and a specific criminal investigation involving a dangerous suspect. That distinction is important. But here's where Hawley's argument gains traction. He's not just asking whether investigations are justified. He's asking whether the methods and representations to Congress were accurate. And that's a different question. Then we get into accountability. Hawley asks a very simple question. Were any individuals held responsible? And the answer, no firings, just internal admonishments. Now, depending on your perspective, that can either sound like a reasonable internal correction or a lack of serious accountability. And Hawley clearly leans toward the second interpretation. Another key moment is the repeated insistence on yes or no answers. Some might see that as aggressive, but in hearings like this, it's often the only way to cut through layered responses and get clarity. Because let's be honest, this entire exchange boils down to trust. Can Congress trust the information it's being given? Can the public trust that agencies are operating within constitutional limits? And when discrepancies appear, are they addressed transparently? Those are the real questions here. And regardless of where you land politically, those questions matter. Now, I think what made this exchange particularly impactful is that it didn't feel abstract. It felt grounded in something tangible, documents, testimony, and specific actions. Hawley's strategy was simple but effective. Establish prior statements, introduce new evidence, highlight the inconsistency, press for accountability. That's a classic oversight framework. And whether you agree with every conclusion he draws or not, it's hard to argue that the questions themselves weren't worth asking. At the end of the day, this isn't just about one memo or one agency. It's about the broader principle that power, especially government power, has to be questioned, examined, and held accountable. That's how the system is supposed to work. Now, I want to hear from you. Do you think this exchange exposed something serious, or do you think it was more about political framing? Drop your thoughts below. Backhand index pointing down.